Good afternoon to all traders. Welcome to today's live stream. Just waiting for audio and video confirmation. Good afternoon to everyone. Just hold on, we'll begin very shortly. All right, so let's begin. Welcome to today's live stream. Before we begin, all of you who are new here, you can just visit our website, that is web.strike.money, and get experience of all these tools yourself. So without any delay, let me just start. All right, I hope you can see my screen. If anybody has any questions, just post the questions. All right, so we are seeing some bullish price action in today's trading session. About 30 of Nifty 50 stocks are up, and around 293 stocks in Nifty 500 are up. If we talk about the options OI, we are seeing a lot of put writing at 19600 and 19650, and also note today is the weekly expiry for Nifty. Bank Nifty has been shifted to Wednesdays, so Bank Nifty weekly expiry was yesterday. And now the major level on the upside with respect to calls open interest is 19700, and current levels of Nifty are inching towards 19700, and the way it is trending, it may also cross this level as well. And if so, if call writers will start getting into trouble on the 19700 itself. So and the PCR also looks very high, because we look at just today's expiry, then you can see that put writers are in control. So action looks bullish from options point of view. And if we look at Bank Nifty, then finally 44,500 seems to have been crossed decisively. Right now it is even above 44,700 in the spot. And next major hurdle based on the calls OI seems to be at 45,000. So overall trajectory looks to be bullish for both the indices. And about in the FNO segment as well, about 88 stocks are showing long build-up with Coal India at top, which is up almost 6.7%. And in short build-up, there are around 60 stocks. So overall sense looks to be bullish. So let's just go into the heat map to see how the sectors are doing for today. So today, the defensives, that is the healthcare and pharma that we have been discussing, have taken a breather from the last 2-3 days of move, and the high beta ones are again at top, mainly the PSC, reality, energy, PSU banks. So all the relatively strong sectors are again showing a lot of strength in the market. So that's pretty much on the side. Then today again we are seeing broad based participation. So let's see the mid cap and small cap index. So small cap is about up 0.6%, and there is the mid cap. Mid cap is also about around 0.67%. So again, strength has been good in the broad market. So before we go any further, I'd like to make an announcement. Now in scanners, you also got a new module known as technical scanners. So all of you can just go to technical scanners and use all these scanners. Now let's say you like to use a simple moving average or an exponential moving average for signal. Just a moment. So let's say you use a moving average, price crossing above moving average for your certain filter. So now if you select simple moving average here, give your all selected criteria, and you can select whether our price is above or below a selected moving average, or crossing above a certain moving average, or crossing below a certain moving average. So you can give all sorts of filters and even select any of your moving average that you'd like to use. So if I've selected right now the FNO stocks crossing above the 20-day moving average, and I can see quite a few names here which are crossing a back above their 20-day average. So this gives you a lot of more scans to filter out stocks. So once you have figured out what sectors you want to be in, what theme you would like to be in, and you can just go ahead and use these scanners for your last sort of signals. So I'll come back to these scans again. Before that, let's have a look at the uh, all the FI/DI data as well as sentiment and see if anything's changed there. So even yesterday, again we have seen the sell figures from FIIs in the cash market, and in the derivative market also the data was not looking good. There was selling in futures as well as in index calls. So you can see about 1,40,000 contracts of index calls were sold by the FIs. So this number may go away after today's expiry, but let's see how that takes forward. In terms of the positioning, it is pretty much flat, not much change in that. Let's see the momentum swing based on today's figures. So today it's inched up from 72 to 75, and the average swing is right at 80. So nothing, no indicator is as of now looking really overbought. It's like they're getting out of the oversold zone, like the much talked about the OIPCR, which I have been mentioning since many days. If we go to diffusion to check the breadth, so the stocks above 20 DMA for the Nifty, it's today showing the figure as 90. You can see it has almost reached the top end of the range. So about 90% of Nifty stocks are above their 20-day average. So that is one sign of a very broad-based participation in the index. Now, some of you may even say that 90 was an overbought reading back here and here, so it may pose a risk for a short-term correction. Now, see, pullbacks are a part of ongoing bull trend, so that can take place. But yeah, this just shows us that how strong of a trend we are seeing. If you look at stocks with RMI bullish signal, that is also at 88. Last time it went to all the way till 94, and we are seeing 88 today. If I look at the stocks with MACD buy as well, so this is a slower one. This also rose till 92 previously and even stayed in that range, and the market continued to rise. Just the pace got slow, and right today the number is at 82. So participation is pretty strong from all sorts of stocks, and the moment I'm talking, the index has crossed even above 19,700, and the Bank Nifty index is at 44,750. So let's go back to the chart of Nifty itself. So we've been discussing that we are above these trend lines, and we are trending above all the key levels, and I've been discussing the setup chart daily. So on the daily we already had all the confirmations, but yesterday on the hourly we were missing the confirmation from the Dow trend or the RMI. So you can see from today's data, the actually on yesterday's upside only, the Dow trend went into green mode back on the last candle of yesterday's trading session, and RMI has whipsawed a little couple of times, but the good thing is that the moving averages have held on the hourly time frame and it's trending upside. Going to the Bank Nifty. One second. Now, going to the bank Nifty chart. Yesterday we saw that it was touching the 20 DMA, but it gave some recovery from the intraday lows and closed significantly above it. And today we are finally seeing a very positive kind of action, and all the indicators are also supporting the same. So if we look at the daily chart setup, yesterday it wasn't able to close above the 40-day average, but today it's crossing above that. And if you look closely, the Bollinger Bands have also contracted a lot. So if it starts to expand, then uh, you can see some expansion in the volatility and the speed as well. Let's look at the hourly also. So here also, in today's session, we have seen a fresh crossover around just in the morning, and and the Dow Trend had also given the green signal. So yeah, that's looking pretty much okay. If you have any questions, just let me know. Okay, there's a question from Abhishek. One second. Doc. Sure. Let's have a look at that. But I think before taking stock queries, let's look at today's scans as well. So I am not going into each and every technical scan because that's something I would want you guys to use and let us know how it performs for you. But I like to take the Dow trend as well as the RMI scan to look for any new signals today. So I'm selecting the indices and the FNO stocks, and I'm selecting only the reversal signals. So I'm select, yeah, only no up to down signal actually, only down to up signals are there on the Dow trend. So that's been the story for last few days. So more and more stocks are joining that with either being price wise or even on the momentum wise. So now it's up to one's preference which kind of setup they would like to use. Let's look at the RMI scanner also. I'll select both uh, new sell and new buy signals. Again, I can see the new buy signals are dominating the new sell signals. So more of new buy signals are there. And since we were talking about the pharma index since 2-3 sessions, you can see the Nifty pharma itself is crossing to the bullish side today. And from the same sector, I'm seeing few names, that is Ipca Lab, Torrent Pharma. So all these are just observations. No, none of it is an investment advice or a trading advice. And another one is Zydus. So slowly you can see participation. We're talking about just pharma on the basis of seasonality, but all other sectors are also giving many signals. So stocks like Bandhan Bank, Ambuja Cement, many signals are there. So one needs to watch carefully what kind of signal they would want to look at. So now I'll take a query from Abhishek Mishra for Masdog. So it's up quite a lot today, and it has been a very trending chart, you can see, and the cycles have been really working well on this stock. So you can see there was a new buy signal back on fourth. So that's how RMI on strike helps you get an edge before the move starts. So had you been looking at Dow Trend Scanner and RMI Scanner daily, you would have seen the stock popping up on the Dow scanner on 1st of September and on the RMI scan on 4th of September. And since then, you can see how the price, how well it has done. And maybe it's just a start of new move. So yeah, looks pretty good. You can give new any other queries if you have on any tool or any stock chart. Okay, Abhishek wants to get coaching ship as well. I think that would be pretty similar to this. Yeah. So this also had given a bullish crossover back on fourth. Now it has been trending, so it's already in a bigger cycle. So if I look at weekly for a better view, then all the way back in April, a weekly signal came, and since then uh, it has been inching upwards. So it's more like a trailing sort of a chart. So one would like to trail such kind of a position if they have on some moving average of some degree. You can see the indicators like RSI is very high reading, so it may look like an overbought reading in the short term. And yeah, so you can see even a tight average like a 20-day average is working really well as a reverse trailing level for such charts. You can see it trends at the 20-day average, and once broken, it can go into a downtrend. So it hasn't seriously broken below the 20-day average ever since it started its journey from this low. So yeah, it can be uh, held with some kind of trailing level that you would like to follow. Thank you. You're welcome, Abhishek. Okay, there are a couple of more messages I'm seeing. One is IDFC Bank. Very similar chart to what we saw before this. It has been trending ever since. If I go to weekly, then a weekly signal came back in April, and it's right now maturing. Maturing as in you can see it's going into sell, and it's slowly inching upwards. So it's in the latter part of a current move. So one should be careful and just trail it using any moving average or trend lines, whatever you would like to use. BEML. I'm directly going to our setup chart. Let's start with the weekly. So again, back in April, there was a weekly signal, and that cycle is in progress since then. To go back to fine tune it, you can go back to daily and wait for fresh signals. So as you can see, it moves up, consolidates, moves up, consolidates back to averages, again moves up, consolidates back to the averages. Right now, in today's session, it's in process of uh, giving a sell crossover here, but one can wait till it comes near any certain moving average. But if you are a trader, you can go even shorter than daily time frame back to hourly chart, but that can have its own whipsaws, and there you can look for new signals. So as you can see, the hourly RMI back went into sell mode back on 30th of August, and since then it is being in sell, and still not cross over to a bullish side. So even if you are a very short term trader, then hourly chart you can wait for a fresh signal. One more query on IDFC. I think this is the normal IDFC one. Very similar to the IDFC first chart that we saw before this. So it's been just trending on key moving averages. So until any moving averages breaks, looks to be in upward trajectory from here. There are no more questions. We can wind up for today. Okay. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow.